Up next, Star Trek Voyager's Delta Flyer from Cozmic Scale Models in a 3D print. Hey everybody, it's Kenny Conklin from HobbyLinkInternational.com and welcome to another YouTube unboxing. Today we're going to take a look at Star Trek Voyager's Delta Flyer in 1/72nd scale. It's a 3D print from Cozmic Scale Models. So we'd like to thank Cozmic Scale Models for sending over the kit. This way we could check it out. We could give you our opinions on it, and if we find any deviations or anything like that, you'll know and have an informed decision before you buy this kit. And hopefully if we do find anything wrong, Cozmic Scale Models can work on that and make it a better kit for your experience. So enough out of me, let's get over to the workbench and check out this kit. Today we're going to take a look at the Star Trek Voyager Delta Flyer with interior, and we'd like to thank Cozmic Scale Models for sending over this review piece. The kit comes in 1/72nd scale, which is 11.5 inches in length. It's from Cozmic Scale Models. It's a highly detailed resin model kit, not for beginners, and the kit contains one model with over 50 parts, including crew figures, a decal sheet, and instructions. Before we take a look at the Delta Flyer, I want to show you one more piece that we got in for review that actually I'm going to use to go along with this for when we do the build. Cozmic Scale Models also makes these cool acrylic bases. They're white acrylic, and they have these cool stickers on them to represent the landing pad in the shuttle bay, and we're going to be using this to go along with that model kit. I'm going to take it out of the plastic so you don't see this glare on here. This is a very nice piece. The decals are made very well. They're stuck down there nice and tightly, and you can actually backlight this putting it into a diorama piece or just a base. You'll have the center square, these rectangles down the sides, and the strips light up. I'm not sure if any light will come through here because that's pretty light blocked, but we'll use our phone because I can't get this up to a light to show you. So we're going to slide our phone under here, and hopefully that pops up. My phone's not bright enough, but if you put enough LEDs under there, you can see that it lights up, and actually these do light up, so you can see that the yellow's coming through a little bit more, and then you can see my finger going through there. So that all lights up, and that'll look really cool as a base. The price for this base is 19.95 pounds, and that also does not include shipping, so you would have to pay shipping on top of that. Now let's take a look at the Delta Flyer. So let us see what we get in the box. The box comes packed with packing peanuts. After you remove the peanuts, this is what we'll have. We'll have one box. I'm assuming there's parts in here. We'll have the package of the resin parts of the Delta Flyer. And we'll also have the instruction manual here, which, just taking a look at that real quick, is really nice. The first thing we'll take a look at is the instructions for the Delta Flyer. What they did do was put a lot of the decals and other things inside the instruction booklet to keep those safe and flat during shipping, which was a very good idea. And the first thing I do like, it's in booklet form, not a fold out, and we have a picture of the Delta Flyer on the front and back, and also Cozmic Scale Models email address over here. So let's take a quick look through the instructions. Gives you a history of the Delta Flyer, technical information, when the ship was commissioned, how to prepare the parts, construction, painting, decals, and accessories. Then it gives you a few shots inside the Delta Flyer. And then it goes into instructions. It looks like it's starting out with the captain's chair, then go into control panels, and then it goes into more parts of building the interior. It comes with 4 figures. Very clear, very clear instructions on what to do. I like a little double check to make sure that you're doing things right. Another double check over here. And the paper quality of the instructions is very nice too. Tells you exactly what things are, medical bed, and a whole bunch of stuff over here. And then we go into putting the pieces together. Comes with landing gear, and then it has a color call out for what you should be painting the model. And also this is showing us decal placement on the kit. So very well done instructions, very informative, easy to read, and high quality. Now let's take a look at the extras that came inside the instructions for use with the ship. You're not really going to be able to see it. Hopefully you can see some of the lines there. These are actually vinyl masks that you can use for the kit, and there's a whole bunch in here, laser cut, very nicely done. And there's one sheet of white acetate. I'm assuming this is going to be used for diffusion somewhere on the ship. You don't get a lot of it, so make sure that you cut it properly. The next piece is for your canopy. You can choose either blacked out windows or clear windows, and it has a cargo cage and also roof lights over here, so you can light those up. This actually felt a little gritty, but it's not. It's actually a backing to protect all of the markings on the clear piece here. We're going to go back to the masks for a second. These masks, this is the instruction sheet here to tell you exactly where those go. So this way you could pick them off here and put them where they go on the interior, and it makes it that much easier to find them and paint. Next up is the decal sheet. These are really nice. You can backlight all the control panels, which will look really good. The only thing I see is the black isn't really a very stark black. It's kind of got a faded look to it, but otherwise these decals are very nice. They're very thin. Each one, they're saying the decals are not pre-cut, so it's just one sheet and you're going to cut as close as possible to the decal itself and then put it onto the ship. And next up is the outside decals. Again, very nicely done. They look very thin. They're all together, and you have a ton of small optional decals over here. You have the registry number, the Delta Flyer, the logos, and the pendant for the side. Very nicely done. There's one thing that it says on the instructions, which I'm not sure what it means. NB, N period, B period, seal with an acrylic-based varnish. I don't know what the NB stands for, but I know once we have these on the model that we're going to seal them in. It's recommending an acrylic-based varnish, not a lacquer-based varnish. A lacquer may eat up these decals. If you're looking for an acrylic-based varnish, I'm pretty sure Ammo and AK Interactive have them. If not, I use Liquitex matte varnish, and this is an acrylic-based varnish. The only problem with this is it's a very pricey varnish. And the last thing that comes in there is a cool little sticker from Cozmic Scale Models and also their card. Next, we're going to take a look at what's inside the smaller box. Again, packed very well. The inside of that box is going to have 5 bags filled with a ton of parts that we need for kit, and these all look to be 3D printed parts. So we're going to open the bags up and we're going to take a look and see what we have. Inside of the first bag is the rear ramp of the Delta Flyer and then all of the landing feet. You get 2 sets of landing feet, so if you're going to put this in flight mode, you have feet for the rear and front that you put up onto the bottom of the ship. This way it's in flight mode, or if you're going to have it landed on a base, you actually have 1, 2, 3 feet that you can put down and you can put the kit on the base. It also comes with brass rod, which I'm not going to take out of the bag because I don't want to lose them, and the brass rod is for the feet. The rear deck has very nice detail on the outside. Then you can see the nice detail of the landing ramp on the inside of the ramp. Does need a little cleanup on the edges, no big deal, a little sanding, and that will be taken care of. The next box has all of the interior parts, or most of the interior parts. It looks like the medical bay in here. We have a back wall. The back wall has nice detailing. It's got the pipes. It looks like corrugated metal. The back is nothing. That's just going to be a piece there. Very nice detail. This piece and a few other pieces feel sticky. Now, from what I understand from my 3D printing friends is if it feels sticky, wipe it down with isopropyl alcohol and then let it sit in the sun, because, or from what I've been told, that means it's not fully cured yet. If you do 3D print and you have a curing station at home, you can throw it in there for another minute or 2. Then it looks like we have passageways here or a big window. I'm not looking at the instructions, so I'm not really sure which piece this is, but it's gonna go, you got 2 of these pieces, so I'm assuming that it's gonna be like the hallway or something like that, and that's a big window. Then we got a little door frame or a window frame here, a railing set here. So the interior is pretty highly detailed. We have a panel here that looks to be monitors on the wall, so the decals will go on there, make that look pretty cool. This looks like just another greebly piece for a corner, one of the corners to just give it extra detail. And then we have another panel with an opening, assuming it's a window or something like that. So all these pieces are nice and clean and they're printed very nicely. Like I said, the only piece is this one that feels a little bit on the sticky side. Our next package contains a ladder, hand railings, another set of steps, our 4 crew members, 4 chairs, and 2 panels. Let's take a look at the figures first. The figures are nice in 1/72 scale. It looks like 2 male and 2 female figures. And again, on these figures, they feel a little sticky, so I'm going to put these out into the sun and have these dry up a little more just for a little while. They do come on the runner that comes out of the 3D printer, so you're going to have to cut those off carefully, especially with this guy. He has a double runner on him, and one is for his communication device right there that he's using. The next piece in that package is a staircase, just a short staircase with nice handrails, nicely detailed little set of stairs. Then next up we have a ladder. This ladder is for the rear ramp if you're going to put it in landed mode. Next up we have 3 barriers with the hand railings on them. This piece does have a little deviation at the end over here. I don't think that hand railing goes all the way around, so that piece just has to be cut off and cleaned up, and there is a little cleanup from the stubs on the end there. No big deal on that either. Again, on this piece we have a little bit of stickiness right above this hump here. I don't know if you can see that shiny part, but over there it's just sticky, so I'm going to have to cure that part. Then this is a little ramp. I'm pretty sure this goes from the captain's chairs up front, up through the middle, and then through to the little higher deck in the front of the Delta Flyer. Up next, we have our 4 chairs. Very nicely done. And again, these are still on the supports, so you'll have to take the supports off. All these feel nice and dry, so I'm not worried about these, curing these, but these are nicely detailed seats. Last up, we have these 2 panels. I think they might be control panels. You actually have detail on both sides of the panels. They're fairly thin. Now, the deal with these is this one is flat. This one has a little curve to it, but it's thin enough where if it is supposed to be flat, it could be bent into place and also super glued into wherever it has to go, or you can try the hot water method on there and straighten that one up. And that's bag number 2. Now this is a really cool part of the kit. All the pieces that need to be lit up were 3D printed in a frosted resin, so you don't have to do like really any light blocking too much, or actually I should say diffusion, because it's already done for you. We'll run through these real quick because it's kind of going to be hard to see the detail on these on camera. We have our monitors 3D printed. I don't know how you would light those up. That might be a little bit tricky to get light through here, but that's cool that we have our monitors. We have 2 sets of these pieces that could be lit up. Not sure what they are because I haven't read the directions. Then we have our entrances that have lighting in there. This is the back side. This is a control panel. Again, it's hard to see on camera, but there's a lot of detail in there and it makes it a lot easier to light up with the clear resin. And here's another piece with, I'm hoping you can see the panels in there, and you'll put the decals on or the masks on there, and then you can paint this up and it's a lot easier to light. And these are for the doors. You can see hopefully the big light that would be right there. Again, I'm really liking all these 3D pieces that are frosted. Definitely going to make the job of lighting the kit a lot easier. And the last bag contains our clear parts also for lighting. A few of these are very cool. They have right on them and left on them, so you know what side to put them onto the ship, and they're all colored. These are nicely casted and they do have detail in them. For some reason though, I'm assuming this was done in the frosted 3D resin, so they got a kind of frosted look to them. Now if you see over here too, hopefully we can see this one. Now these are the blue ones, but they got that white frosty look to them. So hopefully I can use Tamiya clear blue on these, make them pop a little more, and then a clear coat will make them look shiny. And then if you can see on this one too, it's got that frosted look. It's got a little scratch in there. So hopefully again with Tamiya clear red, put a clear red over this and then a nice gloss coat that it'll come through and it'll look a little bit nicer than this. These are all a little frosted up. And here's one more of the tip pieces. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it. And there's the drain. Actually, if you haven't 3D printed before, there's all the drain holes. That way the resin can cure better in there. But I don't know if you can see, like that one says right. So you know that's your right wing tip. And then here's another one of our blue parts. And again, it's not bad at all. It's just a little frosted. So I got to clean this up a little bit. And this one feels a little tacky too in the middle. So I'll cure this a little bit longer, do a light coat of Tamiya clear blue on here and seal it with a gloss coat just to get it a little shinier. But otherwise, overall, these are pretty nice. And the last piece we've all been looking forward to is the actual body of the Delta Flyer. It's wrapped in bubble wrap, which is really nice. It's taped up, so let me get this out of the package. Cozmic Scale Models packages this up pretty cool. It has the bubble wrap around it, and then it's also taped together and a little piece of foam at the bottom to keep everything together. Again, this isn't a resin cast kit. This is a 3D printed kit. And here's our Delta Flyer. It comes in 3 pieces. You have the canopy here. Very nice looking canopy. This, no stickiness at all. Canopy is done very, very well. Then we have our 2 halves. Right away, as soon as you open it up, it says to be careful separating these 2 halves. This way you don't break the locating pins inside. So let's be a little careful. Just like a model kit, it has our locating pins, and then we'll put the Delta Flyer to the side there for a second. And then we have our interior over here. We have a little Cosmic Scale Models in there. Here I got a center line, this way you know it's lined up correctly. And then this is where we're going to put our control panels and our medical bay and all that other good stuff in here. So that tray will just go right in there. Then the ship does come in 2 halves, and you have locating tabs and locating pins all around, and they mate up just fine. I don't want to push them in too far, but it clicks in there. There is a little seam, but that's no big deal. It's just like regular model kit that we'll have to do some cleanup on here. I don't know if the pattern in here is supposed to be from the Delta Flyer. I'm assuming not, but there is a lot of swirl marks from the layers, it looks like, from 3D printing. So what I'm going to try to do is use Mr. Surfacer 1000 on here. Hopefully that makes those nice and smooth. If not, it may need a little sanding on here. You're going to be able to light up the tips here. You're going to have your landing on the bottom. Even the bottom is detailed too. I'm going to try to push this together as best I can. I could squash those two together. The middle does have a significant gap. I'm pushing that as hard as I can, mating them up, and that gap isn't going away. So that's going to have to be filled, and unfortunately here you're going to have to sand off this detail, this ribbing there, and put another rib in the middle, fill that in. And then we also have on the back end, let's try to squeeze this guy together. That is a huge gap right there. That's a major gap in the 3D print. I don't know if that's, as you can see, the tail mates up perfectly fine over here, but the bottom half doesn't mate up at all. That's going to take a lot of work to get that to look good. I don't know if that warped or what happened there. Let's put this back together again. Get those locating pins all in where they're supposed to be. There we go. Okay, so on this rear gap, if I push it really, really hard, and I'm really pushing on that, you can see my hand shaking. I'm pushing so hard. You can get it together, and then there's a slightly smaller gap, but I don't know what that's going to do to the rear ramp door there. So that's the gap you're going to have without pushing it together. And then we also have over here on the ramp, even if I push this together, it kind of pushes that ramp door back up, but this is bowed off of line, so you'd have to pull these up and mash them together too. So we do have major gap issues across the bottom of the kit. It's basically 3D garage kit, so you're going to have issues like this. It's not a mass-produced kit coming out of templates or anything like that. So you do have some work. You have some cleanup over here on the nubs. Again, this doesn't mate up either. So you'd have to do some seam work on the top portion over here. And then let's look at the nose. The nose also has a gap. I'm just looking in. I do have my pins lined up. We also have a gap up here in the front. So definitely you're gonna have body work to do on this kit. Otherwise, the overall appearance of the Delta Flyer is really, really nice. Do have to do some work, especially on the body. The gap work is going to be a little bit of a bear to do, especially that rear door. So there we go. We got it all back together. I'm just holding it in place because otherwise the canopy will fall off. I'm just looking at the canopy now too. Now that I have the canopy back on too, you might have to do a little work on the canopy to get that to push down. There is a gap over there and a little gap over on the other side, but this side is more of a gap. That should be down like that. So there is some work to do on this kit, but for a Voyager fan, you may be very, very interested in the Delta Flyer. First off, thanks again to Cozmic Scale Models for sending over the kit. This way we could check it out and we can show you what's in the kit. Secondly, we do these unboxings to show you guys what's in the kit, what's wrong with the kit, what's great with the kit, and also to show the manufacturers, hey, there's a deviation with this could be a little bit better, and stuff like that. This isn't meant to tear down any business or change your mind not to buy the kit. This kit definitely is not a beginner's kit, and if you are frustrated by kits that need a lot of work, this kit definitely is not for you. We feel that at the price point of this kit, there should be a little bit more quality control on what is going out. The gap in the back ends of the ship, that's just unacceptable. That's a lot of work for anybody to do, even an advanced modeler. So on a scale out of 1 to 10, if they didn't have that big gap in the back, even if it just had that small seam up the middle, I would definitely give it a 9 out of a 10, especially for us Voyager fans who love Voyager. This would be a great kit to have. But with how that back seam is, I mean, that's a big gap. I would only give it a 6.5, 7 maybe out of 10, just because of how much work you're going to have to do to fix that portion of the kit. So hopefully Cozmic Scale Models can come up with some more pins back there, or a tab, or some kind of brace, just to get that fixed up and make sure that you're not having a problem. Actually, I'm not the only one that had the big seam down there. I actually watched Aztec Dummy, Lou Dalmaso's video. He had a big seam down the back. I didn't see him work on the very ends of the ship, so I don't know if he had that same gap that I did. I know I'm talking about the gap a lot, but that is the major deficiency in this kit. Anything else is a sidebar and wouldn't hamper me from buying this kit. So totally up to you. And I ask you to do me a big favor. Don't bash the company. Don't bash the kit in the comments. That's not what these videos are about. They're actually informative videos to let you know, the consumer, and also the manufacturer of these kits, what deviations there are and what should be corrected. So thank you everybody for stopping by. I hope you all have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.